All right, ready for a little brunch with Bud. My old partner, Bud Poliquin, along in just a second. Today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Cam's Pizzeria. Word is low, always love at first slice. Locations in Oswego and Camillus. Go see our friends at Cam's today, where they value family, frankly. We value family, too, which is, I guess, why we keep bringing him back. He's never going to leave my life, is he? It's the one, the only, my former partner, Bud Poliquin, for our little brunch with Bud. Hello, sir.
First of all, I apologize to our many, many viewers for not being suitably groomed for this particular
podcast. Going 5 o'clock shadow. Or
it's a little gross, but it's not. I'm growing a beard. It's just been lazy, and But I'll get to
life, man.
As a matter of fact, we have company coming in from out of town tomorrow, so I'll shave either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay. So. But what about the company right now, right here?
I'm a rude guest.
Low priority. Very low.
I gotta clean up my act.
Down the ladder priority.
Anyway,
all right, let's kick it off with a big event going on this coming weekend, and that is Syracuse football. The record may not be great, but they are visiting an historic site, and the one Paul Boy Green Esden Jr. will be there with his proud papa to experience all of the pomp and circumstance. Bud, I have been on the Notre Dame campus, but I have never been there on a football Saturday and gone through the whole ritual. You have. So tell young Paul here what indeed he should expect.
All right. So number one, as boastful as this will sound, and I apologize, but it'll add a little credence to what I'm going to say after I say this. I have been, you name it, I have been to almost every college football cathedral in the country. Again, great job, and it allowed me to travel the country and see all these great places. Now, if I spend to every single one, no. But, you name them, and I've been to most of them. And also, I was born and raised in Chicago, raised in Iowa. So I had some grandparents who had season tickets to Notre Dame games. So I'd take the train from Burlington, Iowa to Chicago, where they live. And then we drive to South Bend from there. So I've gone to Notre Dame games since I've been in 6th and 7th grade at St. Patrick's School in Burlington, Iowa.
Hey, quick question before you continue your story.
That's it.
I always have known. I mean, we worked together for 18 years. I always knew that you were born in Chicago, and I knew that you had stops in Iowa, Connecticut, San Diego, and now Central New York. But you said you grew up in Iowa. How many years did you spend in Iowa?
I spent 3 years there. 6, 7 years.
I thought so. I was like, I have this. Did Bud do all his schooling in Iowa, and I never picked this up in all the years we worked together? So grew up in Iowa 3 years? That's like a cup of coffee for crying out loud.
Those are very formative 3 years.
Oh, okay. It's very impressionable, the state of Iowa on you. From what age to what age were you impressioned by the fine folks of Iowa?
6th, 7th, and 8th grade. 6th grade, it was Sister Johannes.
The middle school years.
Sister Johanne, then Sister Borgia, then Sister Lucia. 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
Anyway, no, those are very formative years. And
prior to that, it was Chicago, correct?
Yeah, and I grew up playing in the alley in Chicago, and then I go to Iowa, and it's all open spaces and cornfields.
You grew up getting beat up in the alley, not really playing in the alley. I mean, we've heard the story of Chester Proplonsky.
I got beat up in the
alley. Your mother and your sister were looking out the window down at this alleyway outside of their apartment or complex, wherever they lived. Was an apartment.
His name was?
Chester Proplonsky. Never going to forget that name, for crying out loud. That's the greatest name in the history of
mankind.
I
got to track him down.
The two of them, his mother and sister, and for those of you that had never heard the story, I know many of you tuning in right now have never heard the story. Bud's mom and sister were peering out the window into this alleyway in Chicago. Just picture it. It's like right out of Untouchables or something, right? And there he is. He's down there, and Poplonsky is doing one of these, like, I'm just imagining this. You have to tell the story, but poking Bud directly in the chest with his fingers, giving him the guff, and but
then the pummeling began.
Yeah, and then
pummeling,
basically the pummeling, and not the cowering. I'm like this. Chester's raining blows.
And the mother and sister up there laughing, right?
Well, they're outraged because I'm not fighting back.
I'm just, hit it, Bud! What are you doing?
Get in there, Poliquin!
Mix it up.
I went in the house, and my mother said, "Boy, I'm telling your father. I'm telling your father." And so at that point, I was taking jazz, tap, and ballroom dance lessons.
He was a dancer at this
And
point.
like
He's
that
wondering
weekend,
why he didn't fight back, folks. It could have been a like swinging kick or something Paul would do in Taekwondo, except dance style. He
And
could
then-
have
Danced out of the
right to
way.
the ground, I guess.
And then then my dad took me to this boxing club that very weekend, and
Yes,
I became a master
following
boxer.
weekend, yes.
I was a master boxer because I had this incredible footwork that none of the other kids had.
So he used his dance training
There it
to
is.
enhance
Like Lynn
his footwork
Swan in ballet.
as his father
I see.
demanded that he get into boxing so that he could properly protect himself.
Interesting.
Let me ask you a
There
question I've never asked you before. I can't believe all these years I've never asked you this question. What was Poplonsky's problem with you that day? What had you done, or what was he angry about? Do you have any recollection?
Oh, just
of
your
that?
presence?
No, it went down. Two kids, and one was bigger than the other. And
He just felt
I
like
had
beating
no
you
idea.
up, and he was like, "You know what? I just feel like pummeling somebody, and
Sorry,
you happen to
pal.
be standing in front of me. Let's just do it."
I do not remember. I'm sorry, I don't
Goodness
remember.
gracious.
I could make something up, but that wouldn't be it.
So
And
probably
did
got
you ever,
got
like
beat out of
later
you.
in life, even 5 years later, 10 years later, make up with Poplonsky?
No, we fled to Iowa before I could do that.
That was it. You got that. Just got out of Dodge. As
No,
a matter
I
of fact,
don't-
the
I
reason
don't-
Bud's family went to Iowa was fear of Chester Poplonsky,
There you go.
apparently.
They ran me out of the state.
Good.
Anyway, so I've been to Notre Dame quite a bit as a kid and as a very, very lucky sports writer. And I will tell you, and what you're in for, especially because I guess you're going to have high 40s, low 50s, and a clear sky. You're going to have an absolutely great day, and you got to get there early. You got to get there early because what you want to do is you want to soak it all in. And by that I mean the various lawns in the place. Have you been to the campus at all, Paul?
Paul's
No, sir.
Okay, you're going to go see all the famous. You're going to see the grotto, and you're going to see the pond outside the grotto, and you're going to see Touchdown Jesus and Fair Catch Corby. You're going to see, the Newt Rockney things. You're going to go into I assume the I don't even know what they call anymore, but the basketball arena. I don't know what their thing is there. And around the rim of it, they have all the the trophies and whatnot, and all the photographs of the days of yore. So you got to go in there. You're going to walk around the campus. There are going to be barbecues everywhere. There's going to be fundraising things. This group of students is going to raise money for Ukraine, and this one's going to raise money for cancer research or whatever. So you're going to go pick around, see all that stuff. And then you're going to have the Irish Guard and the marching band go marching through the campus. And they're going to march over to the steps of the library, and they're going to put on a little concert. And of course, the highlight of the concert will be the fight song, And then they're going to march. They're going to march back, towards the stadium, and people follow them into the stadium. And then they're going to play the fighting, the march song, whatever it is. Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. They're going to play that 20 times in the course of the afternoon and the
Can't
game.
get used to that,
by
baby.
the end of the day. You'll be on the airplane on the way home. Ba, 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 ba. I mean, you just okay. It won't get out of your head. Forget it.
And then what'll happen is when you're at the assuming the weather is right, because I've been very lucky. The weather's always been good. When you're in the I assume all this is still going on too, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know why it would stop. This is what tradition is all about. And when you go over to the the big staircase leading to the library, you'll see like little kids who've been climbed up there, put up in the limbs of the trees, so you can see over the people. So it looks like something out of the Music Man or something. It's just really a beautiful thing. It's Americana. It's really it's going to be great, and the game will be an incidental to you. You're going to come back and you're going to say, "Hey, tell us about it." We're going to say to you, "Tell us about it," and you're not even going to mention the game. Everything else is it. So it's a full blown, full day schedule, and by that the game starts at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever.
3:30, yeah.
Oh, 3:30. Then I don't know when it's going to start, but I wouldn't get there much past 10 o'clock if I were you and your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Because if nothing else, you just tour the campus and you see the Golden Dome, and you go into the church and say a prayer, whatever you do. It'll be an absolutely fantastic experience.
Yeah,
and they're not going to lose, so you're going to get a win out too.
That too, right? It feels like this. Yeah, it feels like this seismic thing that, Wrigley Field, Chicago, Fenway, with the Boston Red Sox and stuff, that no matter if you were a fan or not, there's this sort of aura around it. But the fact that my dad raised me a Notre Dame fan and he's never been there and I've never been there, I think that's just going to add some other special flavor. I got to watch Rudy this week. I got to, I sort of
it'll be a beautiful thing. And the funny thing is that I'm not ripping into Syracuse, but there are fan bases who think their school, and Syracuse is one of them, thinks that their school does a nice job on game day. No. People, when people say Syracuse can compete and should compete with all these heavyweights, please just go to Alabama, go to Auburn, go to Michigan, go to Ohio State, go to Oklahoma, go to Nebraska, go to Notre Dame. These are all places I've been. Texas, LSU. I've been to all these places. Game day in these places, it's not go get a slice of pizza at that pizza joint down there, near the
Varsity.
The Varsity. They go to the Varsity, get a pizza, and they turn the pennant around if they win or something. And that's it. When you go there, you'll say, I've never been to a college experience like this. It'll be like seeing Hamilton. You've never been to a theater and you saw Hamilton. Now you're going to go to one of your few college football experiences outside of Central New York.
Yeah.
And you're going to maybe the best of them all. So you'll have a great time.
Well, can't wait. Lurch, any tips or tricks or anything?
Well, I was going to say watch Rudy, so you already are on that. Well, I would do that because, and then when you're watching it, pay attention to the scenery, pay attention because a lot of it was obviously shot right on that campus,
right.
and so you'll go stand in a spot, and you'll be like, yeah, this is where Rudy was when this, this is where he lit the, the grotto where he lit the candle. You're going to go someplace, you're going to be like, yeah, this is that spot. So that's kind of cool. I always like that with movies and TV shows when I go visit places and then I'm standing in the spot of a scene that I have great recollection of. It's just kind of a cool thing.
Now, the unfortunate thing is you're going to catch Notre Dame with artificial turf, which is sacrilege. That should be grass. It was always grass. And now it's artificial turf. So I didn't
realize they moved.
Yeah, when they switched that.
Turf now, huh?
Oh, it's been 3 or 4 years, I think. You got to look that one up. But
wow.
No, it's no longer grass. So you're not going to get the muddy uniforms and all that, which,
that was always part of it.
But anyway, you will have a really great time. And I won't ruin it for you, but here I go. Rudy.
11 years ago, 2014 is when they installed it, I guess.
Yeah, the real Rudy was not like what you saw in the movie.
What do you mean?
He's a sap. He's just a doofus.
What?
He's a doofus. Look him up.
In other words, what he's saying is Sean Astin is a better Rudy than Rudy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the movie glorifies him through Sean Astin, but that's not the real Rudy.
Oh, so that's not the real story. The whole thing didn't happen.
The story is probably pretty authentic.
The stories are real, but the guy can't speak. The King's English was lost on him. I don't know where he came up with his diction and his pronunciations and his grammar, but he's just he belongs at the end of a bar in front of a bowl of beer nuts is where he belongs.
Wow, Jesus, good Lord, wow.
Other than that,
but enjoy the movie, pal.
Enjoy the movie. Anyway.
Oh goodness, so good. So, well, there is a game that'll be played. It will be Syracuse and Notre Dame. Do you have any tips for the Syracuse football team heading on into that place?
None. And they can't possibly. Look, everything happened. Mike Tyson got knocked out.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I know that. But Notre Dame, Notre Dame can't lose another game. I mean,
right.
They can't. So that's a playoff game for Notre Dame, and they're lucky in that they're playing a really poor team. Not that they're lucky, but they understand we can't lose to anybody. Never mind a poor team. So Syracuse is going to need miraculous happenings, and Notre Dame is going to have to suffer catastrophic happenings. Notre Dame can't lose this game at home against Syracuse because their season is effectively over if it happens. So that's not good news for Syracuse.
Let me ask you this. Fran Brown clearly is a guy who likes to do things a little differently, likes to kind of stand out in the crowd, right? I think I'm accurate in saying that. Is there a play here, Bud, that he he takes the team somewhere, or he has them out there on the quad when the pomp and circumstance begins, and he gives them some kind of roving lesson Is there some point of something here that Fran Brown could do potentially to get the attention of his team, dare I say, before the big game? Because they're obviously in a big underdog situation here.
Well, before you answer that, Bud, Lurch, have you seen the spread for the game?
I have not.
Bud, have you seen the spread for the game?
I have not.
Okay, boys. Play a little trivia. I won't play the music. The opening line is what I'm asking you guys to predict. Okay. What do you believe the opening line for the Syracuse Notre Dame game was? Obviously, it's a Notre Dame home game, of course. Whoever would like to go first, go ahead. I have that information in front of me. 27 points. Okay. Lurch?
He's pretty close to what I was thinking. I'm going to go 24.
35 point underdogs.
Oh, boy.
Okay, now...
Now, hold on, wait a minute. When's the last time Syracuse was an underdog with 35 points?
I was just about to ask you the next level of the trivia question.
Oh, okay.
So here it is. This is the biggest point spread since blank. And you can tell me, what do you believe the bigger point spread was, if you can? So I have that in front of me.
I'm going to guess. I don't know about ancient history, so I don't know. Okay. But I'm going to guess that Nebraska
1984?
It would have been out there where they got slaughtered rather than when they came
back. When they got slaughtered. I thought you meant at the Dome when they beat them when they were number 1.
I'm going to guess in 83. Either the Nebraska game, one or the other of the Nebraska.
Okay. And how much do you think that spread was?
36 points then. No. So 34 points.
Okay. Lurch?
I got 2 potential teams on my mind, but more recent. So I don't know if I'm.
And I will give you the hint. It is more recent. It is in modern times. It's in the 21st century.
My thought is one of 2 that are on my mind.
It's in the 21st century.
Yes.
Clemson, then, right? Has to be Clemson.
It is Clemson.
Could be. Oh, it is.
I
Clemson,
can confirm it. It's Clemson.
Okay.
But now give me the point spread.
Right. I was gonna go Clemson, or I was gonna go Louisville when Lamar was there.
Oh God, yeah.
But okay, Clemson it is.
Okay.
And what was the spread?
That's what I'm asking. What was the opening spread? What was the spread for that?
All right. So this was, what'd you say, 34 and a half?
This one is 35 points.
35. Okay, 35 points.
And that is the biggest point spread since this one I'm asking you guys about right now.
It can't be much more than that. I'll say 38.
Okay, Bud?
So you're saying that this point spread...
This point spread is this new one that I'm about to ask you about is more. This is the biggest one since this one.
All right, so that means it's less than 35. So I'd say
it's more than 35.
Then I don't understand you. I don't understand how you put it. Now it's more than 35. I'll go. What do you say, Jimmy boy? What do you say?
I went 38.
38. I'll go 37. How about that?
Okay.
46 and a half.
Okay.
Clemson over Syracuse in 2020 was the opening line.
Wow. Oh, come on.
Wow.
That was, I believe, if that was correct, that's the Dino Babers year where they went 1-9 or something in the shortened 2020 COVID season.
Wow, my memory fades. I don't remember anything like that, but I'm not here to argue. But Jim, you asked what could he do? What could Fran Brown do?
To motivate him and give him that bulletin board.
He can teach him how to block and tackle a whole lot better than been doing all year.
I was thinking of a psychological ploy of some
sort. Run laps.
Yeah, he can run laps. There's no psychological ploy. Yeah, fellas, let's try and get out of here live.
There's a play.
What about that spread?
Play here.
Look at into the spread insulting 35 points. Like, folks.
Yeah, I mean, having seen the spread, I would say that I might bet on Syracuse. You're going to get 35 points.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot of points.
Sure.
But anyway.
Hey, screw the points, Bud. Take them straight up. Take them straight up. See how much money you can make on that. Whoa. Bet those odds are pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Brunch with Bud is brought to you by our friends at Cam's Pizzeria, where it's always love at first slice. Let's just take 30 seconds, learn a little bit more about our friends from Cam's. Then we're back, talk about James Franklin getting hired at Virginia Tech.
When you think of Cam's Pizzeria, think about 2 of your favorites. Their zesty buffalo chicken wing pizza or their tasty chicken bacon ranch. Over 16 specialty pizzas made fresh daily with the best ingredients. Indulge in their homemade calzones, subs, wraps, salads, and their famous cannolis for dessert. They're all made with love just for you. Order online for 10% off at camspizza.com. Locations in Camillus and Oswego. Cam's Pizzeria. It's love at first slice.
All right, we are back. Brunch with Bud, the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital on YouTube. That's where you want to subscribe to our channel. We'd love for you to become a part of our growing community. And right now, we're giving away a $400 golf driver to one of our first 500 subscribers, and we're creeping our way closer and closer to that number. So if you want to get in, now's the time to do so. Just hit that subscribe button right now. Okay, let's keep talking with Bud Poliquin here. Brunch with Bud. We've already talked about Syracuse. There was hiring.
If we're getting away from Syracuse, let me just squeeze in this one. It's not a long thing here, but Bud, this week is historic. 70 years ago, earlier this week, one of the greatest individual performances in Syracuse football and college football history here. That on your screen is Jim Brown. He set an NCAA record for points by an individual player in a single game by scoring 6 touchdowns and kicking 7 extra points for 43 total points. That was 70 years ago, earlier this week. Huh? That guy's pretty good.
You say Jim Brown. I say the greatest athlete ever to stride the earth. Okay.
Wow.
That's the greatest athlete of all time. And, people are saying that Shohei, the greatest athlete maybe in the world today. That may or may not be true, but the greatest athlete, soup to nuts, A to Z, right there, number 44, Jim Brown.
And see in that picture, Brown fills out a helmet pretty well too, bud.
Yeah, look at that. That's a lot of man right there. Yeah.
You can cite like 6 different sports that he excelled at, and I don't know how many people you can say that about. Bo Jackson was a great athlete. Dion was a great athlete. Yep. Jackie Robinson was a great Jackie Robinson. Wow, Jackie Robinson was a fantastic athlete. A whole bunch of them. There are a whole bunch of great athletes, but this guy stands over all. The best athlete to stride the earth, Jim Brown.
All right, let's talk about this coaching hire at Virginia Tech. It's been bandied about for the last couple of weeks, but it is now on the verge of becoming official, and that is James Franklin, the former Penn State coach, who, Bud, we talked about a number of weeks ago. You weren't all that happy that he got knocked out at Penn State, considering what he had done there record-wise, but he is now headed to the land once of Frank Beamer, and that is Virginia Tech, a team that us here in Central New York are certainly very familiar with, or we here in Central New York.
I think that I meant to suggest that I don't care if James Franklin got fired. He's a multimillionaire, and, the deal with me is we don't feel sorry for multimillionaires. So the idea that, he was put upon or anything like that's not my position. My position is the guy lost 3 games this year, 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. Last year, he was in the Final Four. He came within a few plays of being in the national championship game. His record is overwhelming. You guys can look that one up, but like he was some kind of fantastical record there at Penn State. Mm-hmm. He did everything he was supposed to do except, and it's a big deal, I guess.
The big one.
He wasn't really great against. In fact, he was fairly terrible against top 20 competition. I think he won 3 times in 20 games against top 20 or something like that. The numbers are there. Boy Green can look them up if he wants to. My thing is that I really think, and I'm not scolding you two because maybe you're on my side, and I don't know, but I seem to be one of the lone. Look at those. Look at that, man. That's a pretty good record, except for the last one.
Yeah, those last 3, 15-28 against top 25 teams, 4-10 against top 10 teams, 1-14 against top 5 teams. Oh,
right. But still, he won. Well, anyway, the record is the record. What bothers me, where I think I'm something of a lone wolf or a loner in the woods, just bellowing, is that I thought, and I don't think it anymore, I thought colleges stood for more than merely the scoreboard. And college athletics today, college sports, college sporting factories are telling us loud and clear that's all that matters. That is all that matters. And that bothers me because I'm this Pollyanna guy who used to think, and I don't think it anymore, that college sports was different. And the people who ran college sports were different. Now you might say, well, why were you ever so naive to think that? And I don't have an answer to that except to say I was naive. But that this guy got fired with the record he had, that he was just a few months away from the national championship game, and now he gets fired because he had the temerity to lose 3 games in a row. I think the whole college athletic thing, if a thing could be embarrassed, it should be embarrassed. Those people running college sports should be embarrassed. And I think this guy should be the poster boy of college sports embarrassment.
So is that a massive win for Virginia Tech to get a name like this?
I don't know that. I mean, really, I don't know. I don't know if he's a good coach. I mean, I know his record is fantastic, but was that him or was that the Penn State thing? I don't know. If he has that kind of record of Virginia Tech, which was good for a while, no question, but hasn't been good for a while, no question. We'll see. But I'm not in a position. I'm fairly honest in this way. If I don't know what I'm talking about, or sometimes I'm talking about things that I find out later. I didn't know what I was talking about. But in the here and now, I'll tell you, I don't know if Franklin's a good hire or not. I know he's got a name. I know he's got a resume. Mm-hmm. So bring him on, give him another shot, and see what he can do. I don't know.
But I'm going to shift gears here for a minute here. Let's talk a little baseball, squeeze a little baseball in as kind of everything's wrapped up now. We're through the World Series, but the last piece of the puzzle were the Cy Young and MVP awards in baseball. The Cy Young's going to Paul Skeens and Tariq Skruple, and the MVPs obviously going to Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, who was certainly seemingly in a bit of a dogfight, with the Texas catcher. And a lot of people thought maybe they'd choose someone different this year. Judge's numbers were exceptional, but Cal Raleigh, what he did at the catcher position. I know it's been brought up. He only caught, like 120 games or something like that. So he DH'd a fair amount to get him out from behind the plate, which in today's game is pretty normal, to be honest with you. But it's obviously a much more difficult position to field, and the numbers were close enough. So who would you have voted for, and did baseball do the right thing here with these 4 guys?
Well, Paul, while I'm yakking here, look up how many games did he catch? I thought he caught more than that. But if you can find that out while I'm talking.
Okay. Yep.
Well, I would say this: of the 4 winners of the big time honors, 3 of the 4 were just, there was no question who was going to win. So there was really no mystery to the voting, no mystery to the results. The only thing that was a mystery was Judge or Raleigh. I might have leaned towards Raleigh because of what you said, that he did what he did, and he didn't do as much as Aaron Judge. I mean, in fact, he was fairly significantly behind Aaron Judge in almost everything but home runs. So offensively, it really wasn't close, except for the home runs. But that Raleigh did what he did, including home runs as a catcher, made me think that, yikes, I might go that way. It was very close. So I think they got it right myself, although I might have gone for Raleigh. And I think they got it right in making it so close. Because if Judge had won in the way that the other 3 people won, that is, kind of routing the field, that wouldn't have been right.
Yeah, now he played in 159, he caught 121, so I was pretty much on the.
Okay, you're right. Yep. But he did play in 159, the other guy didn't play in that many, but then if he did, he might hit 60 home runs too. Yeah. So I don't think there's a lot to debate here. I think that Raleigh was great, but another thing, and I read this isn't my idea, Judge has been great for 4 and 5 years now. Raleigh has been great only for this year and maybe part of last year. He's really good. The other guy's been really great. I mean, he's so good. I don't think this will happen, but if you had the Mount Rushmore of Yankees, forget pitchers, just position players. If you had the Mount Rushmore of Yankees, there's something to talk about. You got Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Mantle probably. But then you got Jeter and you got Yogi Berra. But guess what? You got Aaron Judge too. He'd be up there for that 4th spot. I don't think the big 3 gets pushed away. And then if you bring in pitchers, then, maybe it goes down even a couple of notches with Rivera and whatnot. But Aaron Judge is really good, really deserving. I don't have any beefs with that.
By the way, here's just a note I found on Shohei Ohtani, which is interesting. So he is only the 2nd player in MLB history to win 4 MVP awards. The others, Barry Bonds, won 7. Ohtani and Bonds are the only players to win MVP in at least 3 consecutive seasons. This is the 4th time that Ohtani has been unanimously named his league's MVP. Obviously, or overall, there have been 24 unanimous MVPs since the award became official. Ohtani is the only player with multiple such honors. Wow.
It's a staggering thing to know that he's won 4 of the last 5 that were available to him. And that he did it unanimously. And I think the year he didn't win was the year he was hurt, right? So,
yeah, right.
If he was healthy, he might be working on 5, and he might be working on 5 unanimous things. So when we talk about, and you know me, I'm very reluctant to ever anoint anybody as the capital THE greatest in this position, that position. But I think that it'll be very difficult, especially if he throws another year or 2 at us like this. Well, I'll say this, for these 4 years, these 5 years, in those 4 and 5 years, when people say he's the greatest baseball player of all time, I don't know how anybody could argue that based on what we've been witnessing. What this guy does and what he's done and what he projects to do, there's no reason to think he won't do this for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Really, the argument is who's the second greatest player of all time.
And it should be noted, I see that stat there, Paul. Judge has 4 MVPs now as well. So he belongs on that list.
No, we're talking about unanimous, though.
Oh, unanimous. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he has 3 of the last 4 in the American League, which is pretty remarkable.
I tell you what, if he continues like this, it becomes an argument. Who's number 4 on Mount Rushmore for the Yankees?
Just to clarify, Lurch, he only has 3 MVPs. That's why he wasn't on that list.
Judge only has 3?
Yeah, I have. This is from the MLB website, this award thing that just came out here. So it looks like he only has 3, if I'm reading this correctly.
I'm looking at a stat that says he won one in 17, 22, 24, and 25. Am I wrong about one of those?
Yeah, I don't have one for 17. I just have 22, 24,
so they had info on the internet. Okay, that's what I get for looking it up.
He was an all-star in 2017, I see.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying that not everything on the internet
is true? There you go, right? There you go.
What are you talking about? If it's on the internet, it has to be true. Come on.
A quick follow-up here.
Can't win them all.
So, Bud, thank God he left the Angels, right? We don't get what happened in the World Series and all you're complaining to me with late-night phone calls. We don't get any of that if he stays in the Angels. We don't get any of the extra playoff stuff. Obviously, he's still great without all the playoff stuff, but now the rest of everyone, not just on West Coast games, gets to see how brilliant he is.
Well, he was brilliant enough to win 2 unanimous MVPs in the American League for the Angels.
Sure.
So, but no, he's a great player. Now, he might not have had all those stats if I was a manager because I wouldn't pitch to him. So that's I won't go all that way again, but he's a great player. And Judge, if he keeps it up, I know this is heresy, but if he keeps it up, does he take Mickey Mantle off Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I could be closing in.
The big 3, I don't think you can move off Ruth Gehrig or DiMaggio.
Yeah.
So it comes down to whether it's Mantle or Jeter or Yogi Berra, I would imagine. I hope I'm not missing anybody for the 4th spot. And now, I don't know. Who do you want?
Yeah.
And Mickey Mantle is, godlike, but, he showed up hungover half the time. And, Aaron Judge isn't doing that, So Aaron Judge is giving you the full effort. Well, that's true. That's a fact. No, I'm not making this up.
One of the things that'll be an impact point on Judge's career is how late he came into the majors. With all the time that he spent in the minors, and he came into the majors much later than a lot of players do today. Exact opposite to say LeBron James in the NBA, who just came right out of high school, and he's had all those extra years to pile up. If Judge had the extra years, we might already be seriously talking about him approaching that.
And the other thing, and this is my personal fascination, that again, I don't think people, he's got the biggest strike zone in baseball, but he doesn't have the biggest bat in baseball. He's got the same width bat as anybody else, but he has to defend a much bigger strike zone. He's not Jose Altuve. So I think what he's doing to win the batting championship this year, with a strike zone that's bigger than anybody else's,
that's crazy, right?
It's like nuts how good this guy is. Crazy.
All
Yeah,
right, a
by the
couple of
way,
quick
I don't know
hit-
if you
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you said age, Lurch, just to give you that number, but Judge was basically full flower at 25
Yeah.
in the year 2017. So just for the age,
So many
thing
guys
real
coming
quick.
in closer to 20, and he came in.
A-Rod came in
25.
at 18. Remember that?
There you go.
So-
Right, he had a 7-year heads up.
Yeah, I mean
on
that's a
Judge,
huge
basically.
head start. That's a
Come on.
huge.
You're the
head
starting shortstop in the big leagues at 18. Come on.
Yeah. So he's not going to, even with the unbelievable amount of home runs he hits, he's probably not really going to threaten the all-time greats because of, he'll still end up with a ton, but, but he'd really have to play very good ball to 40 or even beyond 40 to start to get into that.
Which maybe can he, because he came in so late, that he would have
I don't
more
know.
tread
I
on
mean,
the tires?
the body breaks down. That's
I
the
guess
problem.
maybe.
You just
Yeah,
can't
he's
catch
just so
it.
By
big.
the way, and as I start this, the baseball gods are turning on me because I forget his name. But the youngster between us here, Mr. Lurch, that child in the middle, okay, he probably wouldn't know this.
Okay.
There's a guy who pitched for the Cincinnati Reds. I hope I'm right here. Cincinnati Reds. I forget his name. 15 years old, pitching in the big leagues.
Oh, I don't even know who that is, but
15 years
Is
old.
it Joe Nuxel?
I think it's Joe Nuxel. Right?
There you go. See, you said I wouldn't know it.
15-year-old prodigy. Hey, the internet coming
If you
through
look
for
that up,
you. It
you
didn't come
know.
through for me, but it came
I
through
blacked
for me.
out.
Whoa.
I blacked out. It was
The name's
Joe
a lot easier than a record. People get
15
records wrong all the time.
years old.
Yep, here it is. On June 10th, 1944, 15-year-old Joe Nuxel became the youngest player ever to play Major League Baseball when he pitched in a game for the Cincinnati Reds.
Now, remember though, that was the war. There's an asterisk there. Everybody's off fighting the war.
Sure.
But nevertheless, he towed a big league rubber at the age of 15.
Pretty good.
All right, I got 3 quick hitters here in the NFL that we'll wrap things up with, Bud. So let's
Right.
just hit these each quickly. The first one, Jamar Chase suspended a game for the spitting incident. What is your thoughts on spitting in the NFL? We've now seen it a couple of times. Spitting.
Are we clear that he actually, and really did that, or was it just
very clear? Yeah.
It wasn't
very clear,
speaking
dude.
and it flew out. No.
Well, I think, I'd like to think that the one game is the absolute minimum he should have gotten. I think he should have gotten more. Not cool to spit. And, you're supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to have some dignity to you. You're supposed to be a role model in some way. So I think one game should have been the minimum he got.
All right, fair enough. Second item here, Abdul Carter. serious rumors, seemingly fairly good sources are saying a couple things about Abdul Carter. Number one, he was late to a walkthrough and apparently was sleeping. And now there are some other sources now with this story kind of out there saying that he's not been really great in attending meetings on time under the realm of Brian Dable, which has now obviously been handed off to Mike Kafka for the rest of this season. And he sat out a whopping entire series for the Giants as his punishment for missing most of or part of the walkthrough when he was apparently snoozing. So thoughts on a rookie and what's going on here at the Giants?
Well,
not a good look.
Same as the spitter. He got off light. Abdul Carter got off light. He missed 6 plays, and one of the plays was a punt, which he wouldn't be on the field for, I don't think.
Right.
So he missed 5 plays for sleeping through a team meeting for a 2-8 team. Now, when you're 2-8, the old line is if you're on time, you're 10 minutes late, that kind of thing. If you're in a 2-8 team and you're a rookie, man, you owe it to the gods to do everything you can to make this 2-8 team better than it is, and you don't get that done by sleeping during a meeting. So I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead, finish up. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think the Giants, came up light. I'm not a tough guy, but I would have benched him for a game, and I would have benched the spitter for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you see all this so again, according to the Athletic and ESPN, he's been late to multiple meetings so far this season. You had a chance to crack the whip, and he only has half a sack this year. So you could crack the whip for accountability and say, that's what we do. We don't care if you're a 3rd overall pick or a 7th round pick, and say inside, well, he wasn't doing anything anyway.
Yeah. I mean, who is this kid? This is the kid who wanted Lawrence Taylor's number.
And Phil Simms.
And Phil Simms' number. And he's got half a sack. and he's sleeping through meetings. I mean, come on, you get that. To say it's a slap on the wrist, it's more like a brush, brush of the wrist.
A window opened and a draft came through.
Oh boy.
What's your third?
Giants don't have enough. Yeah. Third thing is, did you get a peek at, or do you have an opinion about Shedeur Sanders, who finally got a chance to quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? He completed his first 2 passes, and there was a lot of cheers in the stadium, but then it all went south after that. They're not a very good team. They don't have very good receivers, so it's not all on him. I doubt the offensive line is much to speak of either. But nonetheless, it was not a glorious debut, albeit, again, he popped in the middle of a game too, which I think also takes away from it. He may, if the starter is whose name is escaping me, help me out, Boy Green, is still concussed.
Dylan Gabriel.
Right? Dylan Gabriel is still concussed. Or doesn't get through the protocol, which is probably likely the way the protocol has been going in this season. He might actually get a chance to actually start this next game, prepare the whole week to start, and then start, and maybe at least we can offer a little bit more of a judgment. But give me your thoughts about Shedeur. I mean, he's been hanging around there in that crazy Cleveland world where they took the 2 quarterbacks, they shipped off the 2 veterans, Pickett's gone, Flacco's gone, it's just the youngsters now, and it's not going so well in Cleveland.
Well, 2 things can be true at once. I mean, one is he may not be that good, and the scouts say he's not that good. The talent evaluators say he's not that good. He started out as, I think, the 5th string quarterback in Cleveland, and has worked his way up now to the backup, whatever that was.
Which I guess technically they traded all those guys, so he rose up the depth chart because of default.
That's right. So everything by the judges, by the deciders, is that this kid was a wonderful college player, but he doesn't translate to the pro game. Having said that, if anybody says, aha, see, I told you so, look how bad he played, I don't have anything in front of me, but I'm quite sure there's been a lot of great athletes, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, the pro golfers who missed the cut their first time out. I mean, to think that meant anything other than we'll find out who was right, the deciders are not, and likely the deciders are correct, but they've been wrong before. I'm saying that moved the needle for me in no way. And I think if anybody says, aha, see, I told you he was a stiff, based on that, come on, that's crazy.
All right.
I think.
Fair enough.
All right, hold on, I got a very quickie.
Okay. You can have the final word tonight.
Final word
today.
So, you're the Louisville Cardinals football team, or you're the Connecticut Huskies football team.
Your pride.
My that's it. That's
alma mater.
My alma mater. They're going to go into the offseason, these 2 groups of athletes, these 2 collect, as Mike Tomlin calls them, a collective. I love Mike Tomlin, boy. He never calls them my team or my collective, the collective. It's
a great vernacular, yeah.
He's great. I love the guy. Anyway, so the collective at Louisville and the collective at Connecticut. Louisville is 7-3. They've lost 1 game by 3 points, another game by 3 points, another game by 1 point, just this past weekend. They've lost all 3 of their games by a total of 7 points. Louisville, ergo, could be, and Lurch hates this, could be 10-0. Give them a play here. They're 10-0, and they're in the playoff pick conversation.
Sure.
UConn, they stink. They're 8-3. They've lost 3 games only. They lost 1 in overtime to Syracuse. They lost 1 in double overtime to God knows who, and they lost another game by 3 points. So they're 3 plays away. 3 plays away. 1 in each of the overtimes and 1 in the 3-point. 3 plays away from being 11-0. The UConn Huskies. So you're UConn, you're going to go in the offseason, what this could have been. It could have been a historic season in context.
Yeah.
And same with Louisville. So just to let you know, I don't know. Do you want to be Syracuse going into the offseason, or do you want to be Louisville or UConn going into the offseason? I don't know.
All right.
Louisville or UConn, please.
Probably so.
All right, that'll do it for Brunch with Bud. Another episode. Everybody, thanks for listening and watching. And Bud, we'll talk to you again next week.
It's been a delight, pal. See you next week. Hey, enjoy Notre Dame. It'll be great.